Hello my friends and welcome to the Metal Shop. And their center frame is a butterscotch taped guitar shaped package, which can only mean one thing. This is the second guitar in my little mini series of Chinese guitars that I see if we can make into good guitars. So, oh yeah, that is the Bryan Adams, which I do owe you an update on, the Black Demon, and I promise that it's coming. But anyway, let's get this butterscotch guitar shaped package opened and see what we've got inside. All right? Cool. All right. Well, got the Cutco knife. Let's open this thing up. There's a seam all along this outside edge. You just got to find the top of your styrofoam box coffin. Try not to make a horrible mess. The smell of that tape is pretty awful. Right. Do not eat. And there she is. Awesome. All right. Well, this is obviously the Prince Telecaster, the H.S. Anderson Mad Cat, or the Hohner Mad Cat is what Prince had. I've wanted one of these for a long time, and these are available pretty cheaply. I want to say I paid around $230 something shipped for this guitar. And like everything else, now you can't even find them for less than, $275. So let's see if this is a real guitar or a POS. Get it up on the workbench, and I'm not even going to plug it in and try it. I'm telling you right now, we're going to get this thing up on the workbench, we're going to check it out, and we are going to tear it down because I got a pile of new parts on order for this thing. All right, cool. All right, so now we got her up on the workbench here. Take a closer look. I'm going to do some comparisons to the Firefly guitars because those really seem like a hidden gem in the Chinese industry, the CHIBSON, Chinesium industry, whatever you want to call it. The Firefly have real Alnico pickups in them. Again, they're of Asian descent, Asian made, so how good they are compared to, say, a Fender or Seymour Duncan, that remains to be seen. But the Fireflies have real Alnico pickups in them. They have the large casing pots, the full-sized pots in them, and they have, out of frame, a bone nut. And guys have tested it with their soldering iron, and it is truly a bone nut. What the fire, and I believe all other things being equal, I believe that the bodies and necks are extremely similar in those guitars, very likely made in the same factory. This, to me, this does not look like a veneer. This looks like a photo flame. You can just tell it's a picture glued on top. The pickguard material, it's very thin, and it doesn't have that peel-away plastic coating on it. And it's got scratches on it. Not terrible, but like, polishing scratches and what have you. But if you bought this guitar brand new from Sweetwater, you wouldn't get this guitar like this from Sweetwater, but if you bought it from Guitar Center, Musician's Friend, somewhere like that, you'd very likely return it. Copy of a Godot bridge, looks extremely cheaply made. The input jack is not a Fender style at all. I don't mind this. I like a metal input jack. I don't like the way it's got that recess in it. You know, to me, you guys who've watched my channel know that when they get that little recess like that, that just screams cheap Asian made. Yeah, there's a little... Oh, that comes right off. That's like a little bit of buffing compound or something. Came right off with my fingernail. Anyway, what are the differences? The Firefly does not have a 22 fret neck, only a 21 fret neck. The Firefly has a horrible, fake looking, just yuck headstock. I don't even know the proper how I would describe it. It's just terrible. Whereas this one has a replica of the H.S. Anderson, the Mad Cat hook, which isn't a Fender headstock, but it's nice. It's much nicer than the Firefly headstock, which looks like a phallic shape, an ugly phallic shape. So, as I said, we're gonna tear this thing right down here. Oh, here, I wanted to show you real quick. I did notice this. The setup is ridiculous. The bridge screws, look how far those things are jacked up. And the nut is extremely tall. So, I don't know how to describe it. The strings sit a mile off the neck, but they're very nice and flat. So what that says to me, if you were to file the nut, meaning remove it and file the bottom of it and lower the nut a good amount and lower these saddles quite a bit, you could get a decent setup. But I've got all new parts for this thing, so we're not gonna monkey around here at all. We are just going to get these strings cut right off. Oh, that threw me for a loop. There's some wood chips in the jaws of my nippers, and I'm like, where the heck did that come from? All right, got the strings removed. Not super thrilled with this. These aren't in a straight line. They're kind of, I thought it was like 3 and 3, but no, they're all over the place. That's really unfortunate that they couldn't get that little attention to detail. Look how loose those are. That's just, after removing the strings, I'm just gonna, oh yeah, pluck that right out with my finger. It's not even knurled or anything. And that hole is wallered out. Possibly due to the... If you look in that hole, believe it or not, my friends, there's an actual walnut stripe running down through there. You can see it in the hole. Yeah, the other ones, it's because of that walnut stripe that that was able to fall out. So let's just rip this thing right off. All right, nice to see that it's grounded. This doesn't feel terrible. Has a good weight to it. I'll have to compare it. I've got a real Goto one. The screws are a little on the small side, and I believe, I'm going to double check here, but I think these are the same size screws that they're using in the strap button. So it is nice to see that it's grounded. Let's look under here. I know some guy called this the mustache. He called it like the mustache. He hated it. He tore apart one of these guitars, a Firefly, for his friend. And now the Fireflies sell for about 200 bucks. And they do runs of them, and they sell out very quickly. And you go to the website most times, and you can't, they're not on there. Yeah, that's very, very thin material. Now, full disclosure here, I've already been under here. My soldering iron was hot. I was working on another project, so I just got under there real quick and zapped off the wires. So that's why we're going to be able to do this. But yeah, that's just a ceramic, cheap ass ceramic magnet right there, and that's pretty much what I expected. No problem. Plan for that. Yeah, look at the stripe though. The walnut stripe does go all down all the way through, so that's, you know, kind of nice. I'm not sure if you can see that, but there's tons of really bad scoring marks on the underside of this. And that's actually what you're seeing. What I thought were scratches, there are some fine scratches in the top, but this is very, very badly scored underneath. I bet you can find these pick guards. I'll have to look and see if they're available. The cover is roughed up. It's just a black cover, and I'm not sure exactly what they've done to it to try and give it the look of a vintage pickup. It's a good effect, you know. It's not terrible. But again, I expect this just to be a very cheap ceramic pickup once again. And it is. Does not disappoint. That's a shame. Oh, this will go in something. I use these pickups in some of my builds where I put them in the center, where the center pickup isn't used on the Brad Gillis guitars, where it's a nice pickup in the neck, you know, a Seymour Duncan hot stack and a nice pickup in the bridge. And even in my own builds where I don't even hook up the center pickup. I just drop, it's just there to fill a hole. I drop it down so it's out of the way. But that's what that junk is reserved for. So, yep, small pots. You know, the import switch, three-way switch is what it is. I have good luck with these capacitors. I take these off and actually reuse them in some of my builds because honestly, I like the way they sound. So, is what it is. I say that, I've been saying that a lot. All right, that can stay in place. I was very happy to discover that they used their copies of Goto tuners here, so that the profile, I've got some beautiful locking tuners, staggered locking tuners that will go right in the same footprint. I won't have to drill any new holes or anything like that. That makes me, whoa, look at that. The torque is trying to spin the guitar right off the bench. All right, I'm gonna be like that. The screws not wanting to come out of the back of the headstock, that just means that the hole is wallered out and they just want to spin. So that's a sign of poor workmanship right there. You know, the holes should be pre-drilled and they should be small so that the screws actually grab. The other thing I've noticed is that these cheap knockoff tuners, these Chinese-made Goto tuners, if you take them off once or twice, the nuts are completely scored to crap. I'm just trying to say crap, hell, whatever. They get completely scored up because they're just so cheap. Whereas if it was a real Goto or a Schaller, then they stand up much better. You can remove them and put them back on many times over without galling up the edges there. Not sure if I'm going to run the string trees or not. Like I said, I have staggered tuners, really nice tuners. I'm going to leave these strap buttons. I'm actually going to use these strap buttons because they're nice and big and oversized. And I plan on using just one strap on this guitar. I have a Prince leopard print strap, but as I suspected, that right there is the same size screw that was used to hold down the bridge. Actually, it's not. It's thinner. Longer, but thinner. Garbage, anyway. But I kind of like the strap buttons, not too bad. So I'll use those. But I am going to use much bigger screws, and those don't fit. That's unfortunate. I'm going to use much bigger screws to hold the strap button on. I want to use these screws here. So anyway, I guess that's enough for today. I'll give you a tease. I've told you I have EMG pickups on order for this. Alnico 5 and an Alnico 2. And I'm going to say this in this video, and I'm going to say it in the next video when I go to install the pickups. I called EMG, and they weren't particularly nice or easy to deal with this time. I've dealt with them before, and they were great. But this time, because I wanted to order a telly set for this. Oh, I see. They sell a nice a T set where you get the plate and the pots and the switch and the pickups. And all I wanted to do was substitute a pickup for the the rear here because we don't have room for the telly pickup and I didn't want to route it out. And they basically told me to go pound sand. Said, oh, you're just gonna have to make up your own set. And which I did end up doing, and I bought it from I didn't buy it directly from EMG, not that that matters. They still, I bought it from one of their retailers, but anyway, I'm going to talk about it in the next video as well. So that's a good stopping point for today. The Prince H.S. Anderson Hohner Mad Cat Chinese replica here. Again, locking tuners, a new nut, new bridge, new pickups, new electronics. Let's see if we can't make this thing a really nice guitar. It certainly looks the part. Beautiful, beautiful guitar, photo flame. I have some much nicer ferrules here for the back that hopefully I can get in there without not much muss or much fuss. So as always, my friends, I truly appreciate your support. Thank you so much for the view. My faithful viewers, thanks for subscribing. If you do, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, really helps out the algorithm. Hit me up in the comments. Still respond to all my comments. So have I hit on everything? Please subscribe. Give me the thumbs up. Hit me up in the comments. And yeah, stay tuned. We'll finish up the Chinesium Firebird when I've got all the parts. This is number 2 in the China series of guitars that I'm trying to make nice. And number 3 will follow. All right, my friends, take care. Thanks again. Bye-bye.